What's up, everybody? Welcome to Nasty Fighting. So I wanted to go over 5 things that I feel are fundamental basics to get started with boxing and fighting in general. So the first thing of all, of course, is going to be your stance. Your stance is where everything comes from. So you want to have a really good stance. So a traditional boxing stance is generally feet about shoulder width apart. And then you're going to take your strong leg and you're going to put it behind you. You're going to take a step back. And then you're just going to leave it there. You're going to take that foot and you're going to turn it out about 45 degrees, right? So you're going to kind of turn it out a little bit and you're going to stay on your toes. And then your front foot is going to be pointing the direction of your opponent, wherever they're at. Okay? So you're going to you're going to set your feet up just like that. You're going to bend your knees slightly. Okay? Have a good, nice center of gravity. You don't want to be too far forwards, too far back, left, right. You want to be right over top. Okay? Nice and balanced. Another thing about your stance is you don't want to have your feet too close together like this. This would be way too close together because someone could come and just knock you over. Another thing is you don't want to be way out here either, because then you got to use a lot of effort to really move your feet. So you want them about shoulder width apart, maybe a little bit wider, right? And you're going to turn your feet kind of like I said. And then next thing that's the most important, number 2, is going to be hands up. Always want to keep your hands up, okay? So when I say hands up, I don't mean like this. This is not good. You're not protecting yourself. The purpose of putting your hands up is to get your hands up high enough so that you don't have to bring them up to block, right? You just turn and block, okay? So hands up to about eyebrow level, at least your cheekbones, if not eyebrow level, and your elbows tucked in tight, okay? The reason you have your elbows tucked in instead of letting them come out like this is if your elbows are out like this, your body is 100% vulnerable to body attacks, okay? So hands up, elbows in. And another thing kind of comes with hands up and your stance is you're going to take and you're going to turn your body diagonally. You don't want to give somebody this part of your body, okay? This opens you up. You're open. Even if you're guarding, I mean, you might be able to close like this, but you're open. It's going to be much better, and this target is going to get much smaller if you just turn slightly, right? Still in a good stance, I just turn my upper body slightly, hands up. The third thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to move your feet, okay? You don't want to stand still and just have this stance and be stuck, right? So what you want to do if you're going to move around, or when you move around rather, is if you're going to go to the right side, you want to take your right leg first, okay? So you'll step with this leg first, hands up in our stance, step this leg, then you step with the other leg, right? You step with your left leg. So if we're going right, let's step with the right leg, step with the left leg. If I go to the left, I'm going to do the same thing, but just the opposite, right? Left leg first, then right leg. So the reason that you're doing that is because you don't want to do this, because then I'm not facing you and I'm crossing my feet. Even if you're not turning, you go like this, you are no longer in good balance. Same thing this direction. You don't want to go like this because, I mean, that's not a good thing. So if you're going to go this way, left leg goes first. You're going to go this way, right leg goes first. It seems simple, but it's very important. Same thing with forwards and backwards. You don't want to step with this leg and do what we call square yourself up. You don't want to leave your body open like this. It's not a good thing. If you stand flat like this, someone could push you over, right? You don't want to do that. Same thing obviously with going back. You don't want to step here. You want to stay in that nice boxing stance. Work your way in and out. And you can just drill this, right? We like to do sometimes what's called a box drill. So you step up, right, back, left. That's the simplest, right? Where you can go forwards, backwards, right, left, however you want to do it. Small steps, nice and controlled. So that's number 3. Number 4 is going to be, you need to move your head, okay? Because just like standing still where someone can just dance around you, you want to make sure that you're moving your head so that it's not a stationary target. If I just stand right here, they just shoot their shot straight through. But if I just move my head slightly to the side, that shot will graze by, all right? So one thing, the most important thing about moving your head is don't move it so far that you're off balance, okay? So when you move your head, yeah, you're gonna shift your weight more on this leg if I'm going to the left, more on this leg if I'm going to the right, but you never shift it way out here where, see, I'm like, ugh, about to fall over. You don't wanna do that, okay? Same thing this way. You don't wanna be on your heels where you can just fall over, okay? So if you're gonna move your head, move it. You go circular type motion, we call these duck unders, and you can also slip, where you just side to side. Keep those elbows pinned, hands up, in a nice boxing stance. You start putting your footwork together with your head movement. That's how you become very evasive, okay? Number 5, and it's not necessarily like a basic thing about boxing, but I think it's a good fundamental thing that if you're training, you need to practice, okay? And that is controlled aggression while throwing your combinations, okay? You want to put some oomph into those punches, but you don't want to leave yourself open either, okay? So what you're going to want to do is, instead of like just jumping into everything or even swinging like this, you don't want to do that, okay? So controlled aggression. So when you do it, you throw that shot hard, you step with your shots and you, right? You don't throw haymakers, all right? Controlled aggression. So when you see that opportunity pop up, and you go with it, but you stay controlled. Right back to your stance, hands up, moving your head. Move your head before and after shots, right? So you don't want to leave yourself, because if I do this, guess what? You can see it right now, wide open, right? And sometimes you get heated. I mean, I'm guilty of it too. Everybody does it, where you're ready to rip them and you throw them shots and everything starts to go wild. If you find yourself doing that, especially when you're training, you don't need to train it that way. But even in a fight, like if you catch yourself doing that, reel it back in. Tighten those punches up. That's what we'll say. Is tighten them up. Tighten them up. You don't wanna do this, right? Straight from the face. Nice and tight. I mean, sometimes it's not gonna be 100% perfect, but you don't wanna loop those shots. No, don't do that. So those are the 5 things. Fundamental fighting, boxing basics, 5 things. Stance, hands up, move your feet, move your head, and controlled aggression during your punches or your combinations. Don't leave yourself wide open. Those are the 5 things. Hope you guys enjoy this video. Make sure you subscribe, leave a thumbs up, comment down below, let me know what you thought. I'd really like to improve the videos for you guys. I want to get your feedback. I want to know what you have to say.